Hi, everyone. Well, we're back with me to show you a little bit about how you will go ahead to take your pieces based on the coat hanger or some other thing you had around the house that you were getting some wonderful shapes from. So I'm going to pretend that this is finished. It's not, but you can get the general idea. This is a piece of paper that is a, let's see, what is it? 12 by 18. So it's half the size of an 18 by 24. So it's going to be, the dimensions are going to be a little bit different. But at any rate, what I just want to show you how you will begin is by basically, you can fold your piece or you can measure it, whatever you'd like to do. Fold it in half longwise. And that's going to give us our two pieces of equally sized imagery, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and tear this. You can tear it, you can cut it, have whatever works for you. And there you go. So we have now two equal sized pieces. And what we're going to do now is put them up together and just overlap them maybe about a half an inch. So you're going to overlap them. You see that? Just overlap them. And you're going to take some glue. You can use acrylic medium. I like to use this heavy gel matte medium, or you can just use Elmer's glue or whatever you have. But it's a good idea to glue something that's really going to be nice and sturdy. So let's see, we're just going to squeeze a little bit of this out. You can use a piece of cardboard to spread it. Credit card is good. Just something that's got a nice flat edge. Palette knife is also good. This is a very big palette knife. So we're just going to run that along the side here. Actually, I'm going to turn this other light on to get it a little bit brighter. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to just take our other half sheet and overlap it and just press it down. And it won't take very long to dry. A minute or two. So I'll just kind of make sure that that is the same as the top and the bottom, so that you don't end up with a book that's sort of wonky. So there we go. Okay. So it's nice to make this just be a little bit better. Glue down there. Just going to get my tool and so now you have this really nice long sheet of paper. And what you're going to do now is you're going to make this accordion book. An accordion book is what it sounds like, a book with lots of little folds in it. So what I'm going to do actually is start by folding this in half. This is a quickie way to make sure that you've got a nice even number of folds. You just fold it in half, and I do advise that you wait until that glue is nice and dry before you do this. I, of course, am not doing that, but you will. I'm just going to fold it right against this break here. There we go. Okay, but anyway, nice and dry first before you do this, because otherwise, your glue may just peel away. So then what you want to do is fold it in half again. And fold it in half one more time. Okay, so you see we've got, I don't know, was that 4 folds? One, no, it's only 3 folds. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we have all these nice little even sections. And then what you want to do is just go fold them front, back, front, back, front, back. A little uneven, it's okay. Don't worry about that. You know, what we're doing now is we're trying this idea out. You know, we're just gonna get it done the best way we can. And if you like doing this, you can do hundreds more. You know, you can keep making these wonderful little books and different sizes and different shapes and just keep playing with it. Then you can, you know, get better about your technique. But right now, just want to get it done. And so as you can see, you've got this lovely little book that just folds right up. And so this is where this is going to be our little playground here. And this is where what I'd like you to do next is to you can print out the words that I sent you. You know, maybe make the words bigger. It's kind of like that old magnetic poetry, you know, game that we used to have on refrigerators all over the place in the 90s. Um, I'm sure almost everybody remembers what those are, right? And anyway, it's like that. So you can print them out if you want to, or you can just write your words if you feel more comfortable. But what you want to do is come up with I'm just gonna look at you here for a second here, come up with a couple of sentences, a sentence, using the words that I gave you. And of course, you can add a the and an and if you want to, whatever. The idea is that you're going to come up with a sentence you might not have come up with if you hadn't been given these words. So you know, it's going to come from a different kind of a place. Maybe it will be poetry, maybe it will not rhyme, but sort of make a kind of interesting, evocative sentence. At any rate, once you've got your sentence, what I'd like you to do is to go back to your book and glue the pieces, the words into your book. I'm going to show you an example of what that is like. Hold on a second. So I have this little book that I made this summer. This is an accordion book. And this is actually a book that uses a friend's poem in the same kind of way that I'm asking you to use your words to make a poem. But these are prints that I had made, and now this was for a printmaking class. See, I use books in all kinds of my classes all the time. I just love them. So as you can see, if you print it out, you know, big type, if you can print that out, you can do that, or you can write it. I kind of like the idea of printing it, but you know, whatever you'd like to do, and you want to just kind of glue them down. These tend to use the whole phrase of the poem, but you know, in our case here, it could be a word or two per page. But try to, you know, use the whole book to you know, as the platform for, what is this here? Oh yeah, for your book. And what happens is you get this really interesting, sometimes very fortuitous combination of imagery with text. And the idea here is that you're coming up with something unexpected, you know, something that you didn't have to drive yourself crazy to make, you know, that and that might prompt you to think about words and images a little differently, to think about what a book can be, to think about what art making can be. And it's really quite nice. So for example, this one says, I am a chestnut. This was the first line of her poem. You know, and I mean, when you read the word chestnut, you think of something round, and here are some round forms. So, you know, without my having any intention to do it that way, it just kind of worked out. So I'm inviting you, and this is, by the way, this is a cover to the book, and we can do that in class next time we meet. It's just made with a piece of cardboard on either side, so it makes the whole thing a little bit more sturdy, but it also sits up nicely on a table, and it can actually act as a piece of sculpture as well as a book. But this is what our effort is going to be, something like this, in which you're using your your random object here made into a book as the platform for some kind of a text and imagery experiment. All right, I hope that I made that clear. I hope that you get the basic idea and kind of have fun with it, really. If and if you want to keep going on the book beyond putting on the words to it, if you want to add pop-up parts to it, if you want to have things that are glued into it that come out of the page, if you want to collage into it, that's fine. I mean, go for it. Take it as far as you're interested in taking it for this week. And I will see you next Thursday.